You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense.
Reading this blows up Comedy Club for Kids HQ and replaces it with Chutney. Oh, thanks Antenna Pod for that intro. Oh, well, that's Comedy Club for Kids HQ gone, and now I appear to be absolutely covered in and surrounded by chutney. I'm sure that'll be fine. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids, or Chutney Club for Chutney podcast that's suitable for all ages from 2 and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this is really a lot of chutney. I mean, I've eaten chutney before, obviously, but only in small amounts with like curry or a bit of cheese, and that was very nice. But I can't say I really know what chutney is or where it comes from. Linda, do you know anything about chutney, Linda? No, I didn't think so. It's very sticky. And it smells not great, actually. Normally chutney smells good. I don't know what type of chutney this is. Mango? Tomato? Onion? Carrot? I'll just give it a little try. Ugh. Oh, no. Ugh. No, I think that is frog juice chutney. Ugh. Armpit chutney. Something that was run over and then set fire to chutney. Ugh, that is not good. What on earth am I going to do with all this disgusting chutney? I'm not sure, but my first step is to get away from the chutney. I can't. I'm stuck. Right, well, for now, let me have a look at this week's mailbag, which now seems to be made out of disgusting chutney. This joke is from Zai in New Zealand, who sent in a voice message just a few weeks ago. Hello again, Zai. And Zai said, "What do you call the coldest day of winter?" September. Bye, as the dog gets shot from the vacuum out to space. That is excellent. Thank you, Zai. We're now in October, so I should have read that out last week. Though it does also mean surely that October is a warmer month, because it's not September, right? Right? Drats. I'm hoping your dog is okay, as space is a vacuum and a vacuum is a vacuum, so hopefully it's not really noticed the difference. Right, what's next? This is from Laughing Ninja. Hello again, Laughing Ninja. I do hope you're still somehow sneaking up on people despite all the laughing. They say, "Tiernan, O Tiernan, prithee thine stink broth perchance, oft thou stinky hippos, hearest is the ultimate stinky hippo that smells like every other stinky hippo times 1,000 with a helping of bin farts. Also, I found Linda, all you have to do is play laser tag with 5 farting duck on the 34th of Jultember at 4:94 p.m, i.e. when the podgoblin comes. Bye." Oh, well, I don't really want the ultimate stinky hippo, thanks. I mean, that sounds awful. This place already smells of that really weird chutney. It's okay. The ultimate stinky hippo has now fallen into the chutney and I can't smell them. Win. Thanks also for all your tips on finding Linda. I will pop that date in the diary right now, 34th of Jultember. And I guess I'll sort that out in a few months' time. Jultember, right? So that's after September and then right after February, right? Is that right? Hand in Singapore says, "It is funny and makes me laugh funny. Stinky foozles." Thanks, Hand. I would love to know how you laugh funny. Is it like this? Or is it like this? I mean, it must be fascinating laughing funny. And no stinky foozles, thanks. There is enough weird stinky creatures here already. It's okay. They've got in the chutney as well. Thanks for all your messages, even though I'm stuck in chutney and I don't like it. Don't forget that if you want to send in anything at all, whether it's a question that needs answering or a joke you want me to read out, then please get your nearest reeking clodpate, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And if you're hearing this on the day it comes out, you have just 2 days to enter the competition to win a copy of The Not Witches Prison Break by recent guest Gary Panton. It is just for UK listeners only, I'm afraid. Sorry, everyone else in the universe. But if you would like a copy, just email me saying you would like one. That's it. That's all you got to do. The first 3 emails I get will win one. Don't forget to check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live shows. And if you don't listen to Bust or Trust, a kids mystery podcast too, then you should do, as I'm on that one as well. While I work out what to do with all this chutney everywhere, you listen to this most importantest bit. Hooray! It's John Cooper, globally renowned for creating the world's only completely passive martial art that you can do in your sleep. John, I am such a huge fan. I'm so pleased that you could be here with us today. How are you? Are you good?
Thank you, Mr. Tiernan. Yes, it's lovely to be here, and thank you so much for mentioning Air Rati. Air Rati's been going great since I set it up 3 years ago. Basically, I was really busy and I was in the middle of the street and there was loads of people and I had to get to the other side of the street. So I managed to cut through some air with my hand.
Wow.
Just to kind of make some progress. And the second I did that, I thought, wow, that's like a martial art. And I could monetize that and franchise the whole thing in a non-passive way and make £1 million. So I did that. So last Tuesday I became a millionaire.
Wow!
So I'm quite happy.
I mean, congratulations! Yeah. It is amazing because I think a lot of people, and I don't think I'm talking about listeners to this show who are intelligent enough not to think this, but a lot of people think air. I could always walk through air or whatever, and you think, but actually, air is one of is earth, fire, water, and air, isn't it? Air's power, and also I've seen it blow leaves around. I've seen it knock people over at a bus stop. So it can be pretty tough if you can cut through it. That's incredible.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's as you say, it's a non-passive martial art because it's not full contact with any other person, but it is actually cutting air in half with your hand.
Yes,
that's the basic premise of it.
Yes.
It isn't hurting anyone except for small, intelligent air particles. And every 1 in 700 millionth air particles is actually intelligent. So you do run the risk of hitting one, and you will know because you'll do the air move and you'll hear a really tiny
wow,
like that. And when you hear the tiny you're just hitting one of those 700 millionth particles. So you can apologise, and they'll just understand because obviously they're transparent and you can't see them with the naked eye.
But am I right in thinking that you did run into some trouble a couple of years ago and you were chased by a small breeze for a good couple of weeks?
You are absolutely right. I was chased by a small breeze, and then that small breeze reported me, and that eventually turned into a whole cloud formation.
Wow!
So I was effectively, you know, the picture that you see sometimes in cartoons where someone's followed around by a cloud.
Yes.
It was that was literally me. I was followed around by a cloud. They did eventually catch up with me, and I had a large cumulus formation from my waist up. So no one could tell it was me because I was surrounded by a small, very densely packed cloud. And again, it wasn't aggressive. It was just kind of just got on top of me and made my day rubbish until I apologized. And then it went its own way.
I mean, John, I'm sorry to hear that. I have to say though, there's bits of that sound kind of appealing to me. I mean, you'd always be in disguise. Surely, no one would know you're around. You could take people's crisps. You could run and kick people's footballs. No one would notice you. You're disguised by a cloud. That sounds like a superpower to me.
You're right. You are right. I've got to give you due. It would have been an amazing thing had it not been that I was on the promotional tour for Air Rati. So it just happened at the worst time. Otherwise, me and my entrepreneurial brain, I would have found a way to monetize that and make a second £1 million from having your own personal cloud follow you around. But I'm not that ruthless.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. And I can see really hard for promotion where you're getting photos taken, but people are saying, "Why is a cloud in this picture?" and "Where's John?"
Yeah,
that's really tricky.
Yeah, putting my glasses on got really hard.
Yes. I bet. And did you experience, because when a plane goes in a cloud, they get turbulence. Were you shaken about all over the place?
Well, I don't want to admit to it, but it was turbulent. There were several lampposts that I walked into, and then there was the time when I actually had to meet a friend of mine and went for coffee,
Mm.
and I spilled coffee all over. But what actually happened was some of the coffee went into the cloud, and the cloud became like a coffee
Wow.
cloud that was just surrounded me, and that what attracted that attracted some coffee dogs.
Oh
I
no.
don't know if you've seen coffee dogs. They're like sausage dogs, but they're obsessed with coffee. So for an afternoon, I'm surrounded by a cloud, which is a brown coffee smelling cloud,
Wow.
like a cappuccino with foam on top. And there were all these little like sausage dogs that also started following me around, going coffee, coffee, I want the coffee, and they started like licking and lapping at the cloud, which might have made the cloud go away, but for the dog's owners who were really annoyed
Wow.
because there was a coffee dog expo going on down the road, and
Right.
obviously all the dogs had run away from that to chase me down the road. It was chaos, quite frankly. They weren't happy in Milton Keynes where that was happening.
No, I mean that sounds like a really awful day. It's amazing. I've never. Do you know what? I've never seen a coffee cloud myself. I've heard about them. I have heard about coffee dogs, but I've never seen a coffee cloud. And I just think that there are times like this morning, right on our early
Yeah,
morning
yeah,
walk to take my daughter to school. It rained normal rain,
yes.
and actually, if it had rained coffee into my face, I'd have been so happy because then I'd have had the energy to do the rest of the walk.
I've heard that you have had an unusual shower happen to you though. I heard that you were one of the recipients of their incredibly rare Vimto storm,
Yes.
where the purple stuff just comes down on you like randomly.
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, and you did, and I think it was only me and two other people. One of which I think is still stuck to the A11 with Vimto to this
Oh
day,
my
which
goodness.
is pretty. I think they just live there now. It was very sticky. It wasn't the sugar free Vimto. It was the full sugary
Oh
one.
my God, that's the worst because that's
It's
really
really
sticky.
sticky, really sticky. But you know, I was in my raincoat anyway. I saw the clouds were looking ominous. I wore my raincoat. I carried around my special my special Smurf speaker cup that I've got, and I
Yeah,
collected. I just sort of went along and had little sips, and I quite enjoyed it.
yeah. I mean, did you know you can get like anti-Vimto sprays now?
No, what?
Yeah, you can get like an anti-Vimto spray, and you just spray it on, and it turns the Vimto like back into water again,
Wow.
and it's just fun. You get like really sticky fingers. Obviously, you could wash it off with
Hmm.
water, but anti-Vimto spray does it just like half a second
That's
quicker.
amazing. Would it? Could I go into supermarkets and just spray anti-Vimto spray on cans of Vimto, or would I get in trouble?
Ah, you'd probably get in trouble, but I've never thought of that. That would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But then, yeah. But then what you could do is get the anti-Vimto spray, go into the supermarket, spray it on the Vimto, then just go, oh, I'll just buy this water because this water's cheaper. Take the water out the shop, then get the anti-Vimto spray, spray it on the water, turn back into Vimto, and you've got some Vimto for half the price.
That's amazing idea. That's an amazing idea. I mean I wonder as well if and I'm not au fait with all the different anti sprays that are out there, but could you get an anti supermarket spray, turn the supermarket into water, buy the water at a cheaper price, take it home and then spray it, turn it back into a supermarket, and then you've got all the food you want.
That would be amazing. Can you imagine like turning water back into a supermarket in your own house? If your house wasn't big enough for the supermarket to fit into, and you spray it, and then oil aisles just start appearing in
Oh
your
my
own house
gosh.
and just expanding out along the corridors and into your bedroom, and then the people from aisle 7 and aisle 9, the old people start appearing in your house as well, and then the shelves, and then the cornflakes start appearing, and then your front door bursts open as the staff and the checkout and the auto tills spill out into the street as the entire supermarket entirely fills your home and just crashes out everywhere. That would be
That would
amazing.
be absolutely incredible. And then once you've, and I think obviously for a minute you'd think, oh my goodness, my house is not big enough for this. But then what I would do is I'd go to the crisp aisle, I'd collect all the crisps, and then I'd spray it with an anti supermarket spray again, and then put it back in a bottle.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good day out,
It
that.
does sound like,
Or a good day in,
yeah,
actually.
good day in.
Or a good day in that then becomes a day out.
Yeah, it depends on which bit of the. I suppose if you spray it and you're in the and you've poured the supermarket car park bit out, then you'd end up outside, wouldn't you? Or would you end up? That's a
You
really
would.
good question, that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very it's Schrodinger's
Yeah.
supermarket.
It's
That is a thing.
That's yeah. Wow. I have to say that's really thrown me for a second. I often when I'm in a supermarket, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
outside because the shelves go very high up, and I'm never quite sure
Yes,
what's
and
at
the
the
ceilings
top.
are quite high as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. It could be space. It could just be space after that bit.
Well, it's because they have those really massively luminescent bulbs that they use
Yes.
in the ceiling with what was like 60,005,092 watt bulbs, which are like that's 2 watts off the sun, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like it's totally understandable that when you have a bulbs that bright in a supermarket, you'd think that was natural daylight and you'd think you'd be
Yes.
outside.
Well, have you witnessed? This is something that I saw a little while ago. Somebody in my supermarket had asked for, I think it was like a can of beans that was on the top shelf, and a member of staff went to collect it and then just evaporated.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can
Mm,
imagine, that would happen. The metal and the beans eroding into just dust at
mm,
that point.
yeah, it's a very strange design choice. I mean, when you think about it, it's like the idea that they said, you know, what would be great is if the top of this supermarket is so hot, everything that touches it just turns to dust and evaporates. But I guess it's not. You got to have a thing, haven't you? You got to have a theme or a vibe. Yeah.
Well, they want you to make you feel like you're
Mm,
outside so that you don't leave. Because obviously,
right.
when you're inside somewhere, you can leave, but when you're outside, you can't leave the
Right.
outside because you're already outside.
So you're meant to live
So
in the supermarket,
I think so. Yeah, I think I'd happily live in a
would
supermarket.
you? Which bit?
You
Which
know.
aisle would you?
Which bit would I live in? I'd probably live by the newspapers and the periodicals and things like
That's nice.
that. I know that's an increasingly small section,
Mm, mm.
but I'd live there. Or I'd live in the section of Tesco's where all the multi-pack things
Oh,
are,
nice.
because everything is quite large, so it'd be very easy to build yourself a den with very large bags of rice or
That's a
onions.
lovely idea. I have to say I quite like the idea of as long as I was dressed very warm that I could just have a snooze where the frozen peas are because I think it'd be like frozen
Yeah.
peas sort of like if you like you're meant to put it if you bang your knee or on your arm or if you're meant to put a bag of frozen peas and it sort of fits around you. So I think as a bed, frozen peas would be really
Yeah.
comfy.
Yeah, I can see you doing that. Just all with
Yeah,
your big comfy warm things. I'm going for a sleep in the frozen peas, lads. I may be some time.
that's it.
It's a reference. I don't think some children might get that reference, some might
That's
not.
that's
But
that's quite
that's
right. We have listeners of all possible ages, which actually
good.
this brings me to my next point. Actually, I'm very excited that you're here, John. I'm very excited that you, the creator of Air Arty, has got time to be on the show when you do have quite so much air to chop out of the way. There's a lot of air out there, and I
Mhm.
understand that you are endless. Your job's never ended, really. But thank you for being here. And I've got a question that I need you to answer. I think you're the expert that knows how to answer it. But I do have to ask you a couple of
Okay.
admin questions first. How are you with admin?
Admin. Yes, I mean I've met admin
Mm,
and I've worked with
mm.
admin. We went on holiday once to
Oh,
Malta.
nice.
And yeah, and I bought a meal, so admin owes me like a tenner at this point.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm fine with admin, but I need to remind him that he owes me some money.
okay. I don't know if you're going to get it back in these two questions. That's my. I haven't. I don't. This admin. I'm looking at it now. It hasn't got a tenner with it. I'm worried they might
Okay, that's
transfer it to
fine.
you.
It's probably a different admin then.
Yeah, or maybe they're planning to do a bank transfer.
Okay, okay.
I don't.
Either way, that
Yeah, I
works.
hope so. I hope so. I'm sorry if that's the case. I didn't know about that, or I'd have mentioned it to the admin before it came along. Well, listen, this admin's important. I have to ask. It's legally binding admin. But
Oh,
the
okay.
first question is, as I was about to say before, we've got listeners of all possible ages: Ice Age, Bronze Age, -7, 3004, whatever age you can imagine. They listen to this show, and
Do you have some Nigels?
oh, yeah, several Nigels. Yeah,
Good,
I think
good.
we've got at least 26 Nigels.
And a Sheila, a few Sheilas.
Three Sheilas. Yeah, I think there's three Sheilas.
Good.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
think so. It's hard to tell because they don't always send in their names, but I think that's the correct stats. But so consider with that in mind, I just have to check if you have got any rude words you won't be saying to make sure this show stays family friendly for everyone.
Rude words. I'm not well. There is one. I'll not be saying the word snodwallop.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So no, we can't even bring snodwallops into the conversation at any point, unfortunately.
No, please don't. Snodwallops are really, I mean, aren't they? I think they're illegal in 149 different countries, aren't they? Snodwallops.
150. There
150.
was another ban just last week. Yeah.
Wow. It's for the best, though. I think it's for the best.
It is, yeah, because you wouldn't want to be snodwalloped or to be a snodwalloper
No.
or to have any snodwalloping done while you were asleep, awake, walking down the
Yes.
street, or at any point in your living existence.
That's true. There was a case a couple of years ago, maybe I've got this wrong, where someone brought a snodwallop on a plane and that plane couldn't take off for 3 years, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I can only imagine that, whoever was irresponsible
Mm.
enough to even purchase the snodwallop from the snodwalloper's shop,
Yes.
and then wear the snodwallop. And presumably it was either in a bag or they wore it or they used
Mm.
it or they, ate
Made
it
use of it.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But, surely even just the act of snodwalloping
Mm. Mm.
with a snodwallop while you're snodwalloping on a snodwalloper with
Mm.
snodwallopy is not anything that anyone should be snodwalloping about at all.
Yes, I totally agree. And I just say I think it's quite inconsiderate that they put these snodwallop shops in the duty-free sections of airports so that you could purchase one before you board or
Yeah.
when you arrive, knowing full well that you can't actually take it on a plane or into the country that you're going to.
Yes, I mean, even snodwallop, snodwallop,
Mm.
snodwallop, 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 wallop, snodwallop, 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 and I wouldn't even know.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. I mean, it's when you put it like that. I mean, it's indisputable. I think that you absolutely mustn't say snodwallop on this show,
yeah,
and
no,
I
we can't use
no,
that
I
word. I'm
think this show
sorry.
would be
I
shut
I
down.
apologize if anyone is just by referencing it if anyone got offended, but no, we can't go there.
No, there's every chance that several people's ears will have exploded and legs will have fallen off
Yeah, so we'll not be using snodwallop, and
because
I
of
won't be saying
the sheer
snodwallop
thought
any
of snodwallop.
snodwallop.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right. So thank you for not saying snodwallop. I certainly wouldn't say snodwallop on this show. So I appreciate that. Thank you,
good.
John. Thank you. Listen, this next question, which I do have to ask you, it's important. It's a bit harder. Just you have a think about it. Take your time. Would you rather, John, every time you used a computer, it screamed non-stop, or every supermarket you went to only sold toads? Always another supermarket reference.
Ooh, I to be honest, I'll go for the screaming computer.
Really?
I think, yeah. I would have a screaming computer because that would make it's I think there's a certain school of thought that says if you live in constant pain all the time, then when you're not in pain, everything's just
Right.
amazing. So the idea of just going, sending an email, or it's kind of, I'll just do that quick shopping list. And then once you've done it, you'll just feel great
Mm,
because you'll have given yourself a bit of suffering in doing a bit of work. And there's nothing wrong with a good bit of passive suffering. If you're not suffering, because obviously you're not, what you're just doing is listening to the sounds of artificial suffering made by a keyboard on a
yes.
computer, which has been artificially generated by some AI called Nigel, who just makes lots of and then you're all right. So it's not for everyone, but I like
Yeah, I
it.
mean, there are also. I just want to say that the Nigels that listen to this show aren't AI. We've got real Nigels. I just want to make that clear.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
no,
I
no, no, no. You
apologize. You've
just
got real
referenced an AI
Nigel.
called Nigel. I just wanted to make it clear that the Nigels listening to our show aren't AI. That they, at least I hope they are.
Okay.
But maybe they are.
I bet there's
They might
one.
be
There'll be
one.
one that's just a robot. There'll be a robot
There might be
Nigel.
a
There
robot
always are.
Nigel.
Everywhere you go, there's a robot Nigel hiding behind the sofa in every
You've got
home,
me
I
really thinking
believe.
about it now. I'm slightly worried, actually. Well. Anyway, with that in mind, I just wanted to say, that there might be some benefits. Like, you can sometimes go into certain shops, like I know, like the Apple shop or Curry's or PC World in the UK. There'll be ones
Yes.
in other places in the universe, but where they have all the computers out and you can have a little go. And if every time you used it, it screamed, you could really mess up the shop. Like, you could just try all the computers and then run away.
I mean, I could, and I think, for somewhere like the Apple shop, where it's all really kind of like chill
Mm.
vibes and chrome and silver, I think going in there and, having a screaming keyboard just for me, and when I press the keys on their machine, might be a good little incentive,
Mm,
for them to just kind of enjoy themselves a bit more, because they all look there really serious. And, I mean, obviously screams aren't necessarily the most fun noise in the
no,
world.
no.
Screams kind of like be quite distressing. But when you explain that it's the keyboard that's screaming and, nothing was harmed in the making of that scream, then that's I'm sure they'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think so.
And it could be used as a practical joke for other
Yeah,
people.
I think so. And you never know. They may give you a free computer to make you go away.
Yeah. Or even something so simple as just holding one key down on one keyboard in a shop for 30 seconds. So you just go, "Hello, can I buy it?"
Yes, that's nice.
That kind of thing.
Yes, that's very nice. That's very nice. And a supermarket full of toads doesn't. I know we've already discussed supermarkets a lot on this this episode, but a supermarket full of toads. I suppose if it only sold toads, that's annoying, isn't it? But I think maybe one specific supermarket with toads in would be quite nice.
A supermarket full of toads would be cool. What would be even more cool is a supermarket full of toads and a can of anti-supermarket aerosol. So you go into the supermarket full of toads with the can of anti-supermarket aerosol, spray it so it goes like turns into water. Then you can take it back home. Then you spray it again, and then you get the supermarket full of toads that expands inside your
Mm.
house. So it's like the craziness you had before, but now with added
That's
toads.
great. Yes.
Yeah.
But the issue with this question, I suppose, is it's every supermarket you went to would only sell toads, and then where would you buy crisps from? So that would be a
Oh
problem.
yeah, because toads love crisps, don't they?
Well, they wouldn't even be if it only had toads. They wouldn't even be crisps. I suppose if there was crisps, toads would eat them. So you're in a difficult situation either way.
Yeah, it's the yin and yang of the toad crisp equation.
And yes, yes, it is. So I guess you're going for the computer, the screaming computer.
And the screaming computer, as I say,
Mm.
screams can be distressing noises, but I'm sure in some circumstances they can be highly entertaining and worth using as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I mean, I'm really impressed, John. I think you answered that question much quicker than I expected. It's a very hard question. I think it's a very difficult choice, but you were straight in there and you knew exactly what you needed out of it. I'm very impressed.
Well, all I can say is I like painful noises.
Yes, yes. Well, it's very good. I mean, I think that probably all comes from your training, your airati training, and that kind of level of discipline. I knew I was dealing with an
Yes.
expert when I invited you on.
And I think if you do a lot of improvisation, you come across a lot of painful noises. So I think
Sure.
that's a thing.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, that must happen a lot. Well, listen, I'm excited to see what that kind of decisiveness leads to when it comes to the question that I've asked you here for. This has
Yes.
been sent in by Elodie on Spotify, and I
Okay.
don't know any other details about Elodie. Could be a robot, could be a dinosaur, could be a human, could be we just know she's Elodie and she's on Spotify. That's all we know.
She could be a secret
Could
Nigel.
be a secret, Nigel. I just want to put this out that we don't, unless we get more details, we don't exactly know who we're addressing this to.
Okay, that's fine.
But I do know they this is a good question, something they've thought about. They say, "I have a question for you. Why are goldfish called goldfish if they are orange?"
Oh, why are goldfish called goldfish at the orange? Well, well, I can tell you exactly why they are called goldfish. I don't know if you know that goldfish originally were fish from the sea, not from the cold water.
Oh,
And yeah, back in the day, many many years ago, many millennia ago, goldfish lived in the sea. They were the golden fish. They were the fish that were gold. They were the bravest fish in all the oceans. And what the goldfish would do is they would rise to the top of the surface in stormy seas, and fishermen would use their golden, shining, bright light to guide them back to safety.
wow.
And the golden fish would use their bright light to become the most popular and beloved fish in the sea. And what happened was the other fish didn't like that. The other
Mm.
fish became jealous of the golden fish, the bright golden fish with the illuminated fins and the golden scales that the fishermen adored and loved. And the other fish became jealous and they sent out the golden fish and banned it from the sea and sent it to the cold water and said, "You will no longer be the golden fish. You will now be simply the orange."
Wow.
goldfish, and you will no longer glow because you will no longer be in the sea. And now because the goldfish became quite
Mm.
egotistical and they became quite proud and they became quite arrogant, and it's because they became quite arrogant in being the king of the sea that they were cast out. So goldfish are called goldfish because they were gold. But now those small little orange fish that you see are just a shadow of these once big, proud, golden, glowing fish that used to live in the sea and used to grow to 2 and 3 size the times of a whale. And they used to be enormous. They used to be as big as a lighthouse. But now they are just small little orange fish, just a shadow of their former selves that live in rivers and streams. And you can have your own, and it can live in a tank, and you can love it in the same way that you love a dog or a cat or any other little animal. But when you look at that orange little goldfish, the little tiny thing, remember that its ancestors were the biggest, glorious golden fish in the entire ocean.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea about any of that. Is absolutely fascinating, John. Absolutely fascinating. And yeah, I mean it's just it's funny, isn't it? Luckily this doesn't happen anymore to any of the younger listeners. Like you used to
Yeah,
go you go to a fairground and you'd have to play a game at
yeah,
the fairground, and if you won the game they'd give you a goldfish in a little bag and then you'd carry it
yes.
around. And I suppose I think that is cruel, and it probably definitely is cruel.
Yeah,
But there's a bit of me now thinking maybe they were giving you a light so that when it got dark, you could actually see your way home.
yeah, yeah. They very probably were. They very probably were.
Yeah, yeah. I just never. I mean, I never thought goldfish had that. Like my main thing with goldfish, I just thought they did poos that went on for a very long time. They and then they swam around and then they forgot
Well, it's
things.
why people say they're very forgetful. They're not forgetful. They're just in denial of who they used to be.
Right. I see. I see. And is it right now that because obviously we don't call them orange fish, we probably should call them orange
Yeah.
fish. We still call them goldfish as a sort of, I suppose it's hard to change a name. But am I right now that they've been relegated to, they often when they are out there in the wild, they have to go between a green fish and a red fish, and they can only sort of do anything when it's ready for the schools of fish to go through.
Yes, there was a kind of unofficial traffic light
Mm.
system. Well spotted. They did used to have that in the oceans, but what you'd get is you'd get some other fishermen overtaking fishermen and jumping the red fish. And obviously, when they jump the red fish, they'd get into all manner of bother in the ocean, and then like a wave would hit them because it would be the wave's right of way.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of if it's the wave's right of way versus the boat, you know who's going to win.
Yes, yes. So that's
To be the
tricky.
wave, isn't
If
it?
the goldfish now aren't in the sea anymore, unable to be the orange light, I'm guessing that's going to cause all sorts of trouble. And
Well, we see it every day, don't we? We see ships just sitting there in the middle of
mm,
the ocean, not quite knowing which direction to go in because there's no traffic light system to tell them where they should be going.
yes,
But it's a terrible thing. And obviously when you go further under into the fathoms of the
mm,
ocean, when you get, just a few fathoms above Atlantis, but a few deeper than your average catfish might
mm,
go, then you're into that kind of like middle ocean, that
yeah,
middle
yeah,
space, where there's loads of traffic. There's loads of things that you get your submersibles, you get your private
yeah.
divers, you get the odd
Oh,
aquanigel
yeah, yeah.
down that
Mm,
way as
hmm.
well. You'll get there's entire libraries wrapped in bubble wrap
Wow.
with aqua librarians in them that will happily like live under the sea because it's nice and quiet there, and they'll just sit and read the books all day.
What sort of do they
Um,
have those books that you can get for in the bath, like those little sort of is it bath books? I think they tend to give those to babies, which is strange because it'd be nice if all books were like that, but they're just sort of like
yeah,
floaty
it's a
books.
bath book
Yes,
library.
yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Whole entire bath book libraries under the ocean where it's like everything's waterproof, so you're absolutely fine. You can just imagine your diver with his helmet on, just sitting reading that book
Yes.
under the sea and not being disturbed by anyone because obviously you don't have to say shh because the sound doesn't
Oh, that's
travel.
clever.
So
That's
it's
really
it's
clever.
incredibly quiet.
That's amazing. This is a bit of an odd question, I suppose, but obviously we've got goldfish, which aren't gold, they're orange. You have silverfish, which aren't fish, but they're little
Yes.
sort of insects. Are there bronze fish? Who came third
Are there
place?
bronze fish? That's a good question. I've never seen one.
No.
I mean, there must be, mustn't there? There must be a bronze
Yeah,
fish.
and it just wasn't good enough to be a goldfish or a silverfish. It came third.
Yeah, maybe some goldfish are bronze fish.
Yeah, which would be a more orangey. If
It's
yeah,
like, yeah, they just need a bit of brasso on them
Yeah,
to kind of like,
yeah,
to just kind of, but obviously you can't put brasso on a fish because that would be wrong.
yes, and very hard to do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's, yeah, there must be a bronze fish. I don't believe there's not. Right, that's my next job to go and find a bronze fish.
Wow, wow. Well, maybe if
I
you
will find one.
could, and I don't want to pressure you into this because you're so good at air arty, but if you had a water arty, you could move, you could
Yes.
part the seas or move the waves and go find the fish that you need.
In fact, I actually have behind me, I have my whole aquatic equipment.
I
So
did see
I'm
that.
just
Yeah.
literally I'm putting on my diving boots right now. You'll be able to see my diving boots. My diving boots are bright pink. I'm also putting on my oxygen tank, which is green and yellow, and I'm putting on my big, gigantic air helmet, which has got my own initials written across the top of it. And as I put this on, yes, I'm thinking that now is the time that if there is a bronze fish out there, that I will be the one to discover it. And when I find it, I'm going to bring it back and set up some kind of like bronze fish
Wow.
museum. And because, well, I'm always looking. I've got a massive ego. I'm always looking at ways to kind of like push my
Sure.
own
Sure.
profile.
Yeah.
So if I was to discover that bronze fish, but there would have to be a slogan, wouldn't there, to go with a bronze
Right.
fish?
Uh.
Wouldn't there?
Hmm.
Bronze fish, not silver, not gold, but somewhere in between. No,
No.
that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. What does bronze rhyme with? Ones. I one's the
I mean, it rhymes
bronze.
with fawns, but I don't know if
Fun.
anyone would know
No.
the
No.
fawns.
Yes, it's tricky.
No.
It's a very yeah. I one's the bronze.
Maybe what we need to do, instead of making it bronze, we need to just redefine what bronze means. So just find a new word for bronze that rhymes. Maybe that's why bronze isn't as popular, because nobody can rhyme with anything. Gold can be bold, silver can be ilver,
Yeah, but then you see,
bronze just doesn't rhyme. It's like well, that's what it is, dude. Bronze is like orange because orange doesn't rhyme with anything. So
yes,
because orange is like bronze, bronze doesn't rhyme with anything either.
yes, and goldfish, who could have been in rhymes before, have been demoted to orange fish, and now can maybe only rhyme with
So it
lozenge
doesn't
fish.
rhyme with
Yeah,
anything.
hard
Yeah. What a
times.
what a way, what a way to
What a
go.
it's
To be unrhymed from history.
unrhymed from history. It's very cruel, and indeed unbrined when they moved from the sea to the lake. So they've had a terrible time. Um,
Yeah.
and I just have to just point out that I'm very appreciative that you have a microphone within your diver's helmet because the sound is still coming through very clear. And I was worried as you put that on that we'd just get a very muffly vocals from you, but it sounds very clear in there. It's a very good diving helmet.
Yes, it's made of paper.
Yes, perfect. Perfect for tackling the seas. Well,
Yes.
listen, John, I hope Elodie is pleased with that answer. I think she should be because you've given a definitive history of the gold, nay, orange fish that we have known and loved. And I have to say, it'd be so much harder having one of those giant goldfish in a tank at home unless you had an anti-goldfish spray, and in which case you could turn it to water and then bring it in your home and then turn it back into the size of a whale. So it's probably for best that they're just small now anyway.
Yes, yeah. And then identifying which bit of the water was the fish and which bit of the water in the tank was just the water.
Yes.
That's the
That would be
trick when
really
you turn
hard,
it back.
really hard. So thank goodness that's not the case. Listen, John, I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Before you go, what have you got coming up in the next 7 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, 1 day, and 54 minutes?
What have I got coming up then? Absolutely nothing whatsoever at all. Oh no, I'm at the Atkinson for Comedy Club for
Oh,
Kids.
that's important. Yes.
And then I've got some pantomimes on the go, and then I have to go up to Lapland to help Santa because it'll be
Oh,
Christmas.
yes. Yeah. I
And
forget you do
and
that.
I'm one
Yeah.
of his
Yeah.
elves,
Yes.
obviously. I'm elf-is,
Oh, nice.
so I have to sing
Right.
quite a lot.
Nice.
I'm caught in a Lapland, I can't get out, and all of that kind of
All the
stuff.
classics. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, not much going
That's
on.
great. That's great. And of course, searching for the bronze fish in between all of that. Well,
And searching for the
I
bronzefish, yeah.
wish you good luck with all the endeavours. Hopefully, many of our listeners will see you at the Atkinson. And and thanks again for coming on and solving Elodie's problem.
My pleasure, Mr. Tiernan. It's been lovely to talk to you.
Big thanks to John Cooper for taking time out of doing Airate to help answer Elodie's question. Elodie, I do hope you liked your answer, but if not, why not send any complaints you have by goldfish, and they won't get to me as I live on land. Ha ha, take that, goldfish. If you have a question that you need to have answered, or you want to send in anything else at all, please get your nearest reeking clodpates, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And if you email me ASAP saying you would like a copy of The Not Witches Prison Break, then you'll win one if you're one of the first 3 I receive. UK entries only, sorry, entire rest of the world and everyone in space. And do check out to comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live shows, and come and see us when we're near you. Obviously in a theatre or something, not just like when we're walking by and you're in the shops. And as you can hear, listeners, I'm still surrounded by chutney. And I'll be honest, I've got absolutely no ideas what to do with it. Actually, I tried scooping a bit, but then I got tired. And it turns out lying down in chutney is actually quite nice, apart from the weird smell. Oh, I do wish it was at least nice chutney. But I just don't know what to do with chutney. There's no one that specifically cleans up chutney. If you Google it, no one there is saying that they'll deal with any unwanted chutney. So I guess I'm just here now.
Hello! Is this where all the stinking chutney is?
Yes, hello. I can't see who you are as I'm lying down and I'm stuck in chutney.
Oh, sorry. Let me introduce myself. I'm Claire Condiments, and I love chutney and all of the sauces. It seems you've got at least 3 tons of the world's super rare punga chutney made by fermented old socks and the farts of only the worst dogs. It's a delicacy.
Is it? It doesn't smell like that or taste like it. In fact, it's really not very nice and I want it to go away.
Ah, fantastic news. Let me help you with that. I just need the appropriate tools to scoop it up. Bring on the cheese.
What? What cheese? Oh, great. Now there's cheese everywhere and chutney. That's just made everything worse.
Excuse me. Time for din-dins.
Wow, you ate all that in one go. That was amazing, Claire. I have to say I'm very impressed. You really do like your condiments.
Yes, I do. And now I feel very sick. Thanks for this opportunity. Bye.
Well, that was easy. Now all the chutney is gone. Everything is much... Ugh, what is that smell? That is even worse than the chutney. That's like someone burped on the chutney and then covered it in skunks and then put it in a pit of old sausages. Blah. Oh, no, wait. No chutney means there's nothing covering up all those stinky foozles and the ultimate stinky hippo. No, bye!
You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids Presents. Radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense. It's the end.